All right, shalom, shalom. So the GMS lesson come back at you. Before I do get into this lesson, I want to start off by giving out honor, glory, and praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachakodash. Next up, the bottom is my apostles, Elder Great Millstone, taught me the 100% truth of the Bible and who rule well. Peace and salutations to all the brothers across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in all diligence and sincerity. And, it's the brother Shawai from GMS North Carolina Church out here in Raleigh. Able to put together a little well edifying lesson, right? A little part 2 to what? Israel is scattered, right? Israel, which is a people before it's a place, right? Consisting of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. The truth of the matter is that although the you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right, are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, we have, been scattered amongst every nation on the face of the earth, man, pursuant to the curses in Deuteronomy 28, verses 15 all the way down to 68, but mainly verse 64, right, and 68 as well. Goes into a lot of things, goes into, what happened to us as a people, right, and why we're, in the situation that we're in now, right? But we're going to continue on, because we went over, a lot of that in the first video. But picking up where we left off, this is Tobit 13:2. For he doeth scourge and have mercy. He leadeth down to hell and bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand. And that scourge is a whipping, a lashing, or a punishment. And that's what our people were going through, us, the transatlantic slave trade, right? 500 years of hardcore slavery, right? Fleeing Roman persecution, right? In 70 AD, going to the northern and west coast of Africa, so-called Africa, the land of Ham, right? Some of the things I just named right there, right? Being exiled from the Holy Land, Israel, right? In the Babylonian captivity, the Assyrian captivity, fleeing the Assyrian captivity, the Northern Kingdom came over here to the Americas. So there are a lot of things throughout our history that has scattered us amongst the heathen, right? And then Jake messing around with these other nations and things such like that, and living amongst them and sleeping with their women, and so you're gonna have a lot of situations where Israelites look like these other nations, right? But the seed is carried by the Father, and they're just generations down the line of being Israelites, but looking like these other nations, man. And that was a part of our punishment. And it reads, and have mercy. He leadeth down to hell, and hell is just a lower state, or the grave, right? And bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand. So we couldn't avoid that punishment. We couldn't avoid the things that we went through. We couldn't avoid the curses, right? Because once we disobeyed, once we forsook the ways of our power, Yahweh Shem Shai, we were marked, man. Right? We did it to ourselves, man. The Lord, right, just confirmed his words. He didn't do anything that he didn't already tell us was going to happen if we didn't keep our end of the bargain, keep our end of the deal, right, and the covenant that we made with him, right, the agreement that we made. When you have an agreement, right, that means that both parties have to be satisfied. Like, hey, I'm going to cut your grass, and then you give me $50, like it was a brain fart, right? So once I finish cutting the grass, I expect my $50. That's what we agreed to, man, right? Well, let me check. Let me see if you cut the grass how I asked you to cut it, right? Don't we, what I'm saying? You can't just, it's vice versa. You can't just do the job however you want to do it, right? Now, hey, man, I want you to go up and down, straight line, you know what I'm saying? Make sure the bag catches the grass. I don't want no dead grass on the ground. There's a way and an order in which you do things. There are stipulations to the agreement, and that's what it was with us, man. We had stipulations, following the law, statutes, commandments, keeping them, right? And this time, keeping them to the best of our abilities. But what? We were to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and what? We would receive the blessings. But what? We didn't keep it right. We didn't keep the stipulations of the agreement, so the Lord punished us for it, and there was no way to wiggle out of that, right? Talk our way out of that. No. It is what it is. This is the Almighty, the omnipotent being. He's in control of everything, man, right? Ain't no escaping judgment from him. It reads on, Tobit 13:3, confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel. And that's what you see going on with the starting off with the apostles, the elders, great millstone, and all the sincere brothers on down. We're confessing Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right, amongst the Gentiles, right, amongst these other nations going. That's why you got brothers in various parts of the earth. The UK, right? It's over there in the land of Ham. We got people in Arabia. We got GMS Arabia. We got brothers in Alaska. We got brothers in Hawaii. We got brothers all throughout the nation here in North America, South America, right? We got brothers literally everywhere, man. Why? Because, that's what Israel is. They're scattered abroad. They're scattered amongst every nation, right? But this is the reason why. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he have scattered us among them. That's the reason. That's the point. Because we're scattered amongst these nations, right? Let's move on. Proverbs 1:20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her word, saying, right? That's the point. Right, wisdom, this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, this truth is coming out in the streets, man, in the highways and byways. The Lord said, go out to the highways and byways and bid them to the marriage, right? We're hitting the streets. We're not all cooped up. The true men of the Lord are not being kept away or not hid away, right? They're out on Front Street in the chief place of concourse where there's a lot of buying, where there's a lot of selling in your marketplaces, in your downtown areas, the openings of the gates, right? Where there's a lot going on, a lot of walks of life. You got so-called Asian people, so-called African people, so-called black people, black American people, so-called, so-called white people, right? It don't matter. Every walk of life in these areas that the men of the Lord are in, because what? The Lord have scattered us among them. That's the point. We're not in the hoods, in the ghettos, in the slums, on the reservations, only looking for what we see to believe to be our people, right? Because it's not just a physical or carnal thing. It's not a skin color thing. It's not a black thing, man. All right, we got brothers on the other side preaching that look like so-called white men. Why? Because the spirit bears witness with the spirit, man. Roughly paraphrasing. All right. It's James 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High, Yahweh, and of the Lord, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting, right? And so this is the opening of the Apostle James' epistle, right? He says to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, man. Right? This is who this message is for, man. Right? This is Jeremiah 29:14. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. So this is a future prophecy. This hasn't happened yet, right? Because what? We're still yet this day found in the land of our captivity. Remember, you Jakes didn't swim across that land, right? You were carried over here in cargo slave ships. You were carried over here as property, right? Like cattle, like sheep, man. Right? And we're still yet this day in the land of our captivity. We're still captives here, right? But the Lord said he was going to turn that captivity away. And it reads, and I will gather you from all the nations, right? Because we're scattered. Yes, the bulk of the Israelites are here in the Americas, but what? We're still scattered throughout all four corners of the earth. It's biblical prophecy. So, right? That would happen to us, right? And from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. So what? We're going to get that land back. We're going to get the land of Israel back, right? The land flowing with milk and honey. We're going to get the kingdom, man, right? And the Lord is going to put these heathens up under our foot, man, right? Take our enemies out of power, these other nations out of power, and usher in an everlasting kingdom of righteousness, man. That's where our hope is. That's what we're waiting for. That's our expectation. Right? This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. It reads, these 12 Yahweh Shai sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Right? Because what? When we're going into this, we know that our people were amongst the other nations. We're in Samaria, yeah? right? And you can read that. I forgot in the account, but what the heathens were when we were taken out of that land, right? We were taken out of that land, and I believe it's the king of Assyria, right? The northern kingdom. We were taken out of that land and exiled, and then the heathens that were there were following our customs and doing things after our ways. But what? They're not the people, right? So now, and best believe we still have some of our people still in those lands, right? But the point being is, when the 12 were commissioned to go out, they were not told to go out into the natural heathens, the natural Gentiles. They were told to go into the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Man, right? It reads, verse 6, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? And as ye go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So not only are we not going to these natural Gentiles, we're going to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? That was scattered abroad, right? And we're telling them that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Because why are we not telling it to the natural Gentiles? Because the kingdom of heaven has nothing to do with them, man. All right? So, hey, that's what the Lord came to get. He said he was not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I believe that's Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. Right? That's the point. That's it right there. Israel was scattered, right? And a lot of these what a lot of these people don't understand is that what you're gonna have Israel coming looking like Indian nation, right? You're gonna have Israel speaking all these different tongues and all the languages and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, no matter what you look like, right? Black, blue, brown, and green, right? Just being funny, but seriously, Israel is going to be Israel, right? If they come into this thing believing and wholeheartedly putting their best foot forward and serving the Lord, no matter what they look like, and that's the point. So with that, I'm gonna close it out, giving all peace and love to the elect. Shalom.